Hey everybody, my name is Thomas Spencer and this is TheBibleGuy.com. There's been a lot being said in today's news about blood moons, about solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, how it ties in with Jewish feasts and Jewish festivals, how it ties in with the coming of the Lord. Well, I put together this three-part video clip to help condense a lifetime of study into 3 clips so that you can have a basic understanding of what is going on with Israel's end time timeline and how it affects you. Thank you for joining me. Three and a half years. Daniel talks about the 3.5 years in Daniel 9:27. That the Antichrist signs this covenant for 7 years, but halfway through the 7 years, the Antichrist breaks the covenant. He stops Israel from having sacrifices in the temple. He stops the grain offerings. And then we followed up in Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. Michael the archangel gets involved. It says Michael the archangel is going to stand up. He raises up, and when Michael the archangel stands up, it says then there's going to be a tribulation like never before. Okay, anchor number 3 starts what the Bible calls the tribulation. Anchor 3a, 3.5 years into it, it's what the Bible calls, when Michael stands up, the archangel, a great tribulation like never before. So in Daniel, still in chapter 12, verse 11, it says that the sacrifices at the temple are abolished and the abomination of desolation is set up. Obviously, this is going to be the Antichrist going to come into the temple, make his own sacrifice, desecrate the place. He's going to claim himself as God. Now, that gets us up to, that starts then another 3.5 years called the Great Tribulation, and then at anchor 4, Jesus Christ returns. So we have in anchor 4, Matthew 24, verse 29, Matthew 25, verse 31, and Revelation 19:11 all talk about this particular return of Jesus Christ. Okay, so we're at anchor number 4, Jesus returns. Let's just take a look at anchor number 5 real quick. From the time Jesus returns and he sets up his kingdom, he's going to be here for 1,000 years. It's called the millennium, 1,000. It's going to be 1,000-year reign of Jesus Christ on this earth. And, okay, everything I've told you so far, all theologians believe in. This is not new news to anybody. Okay, now what I want to do is back up a little bit and show you one more thing. Now we're going to back up to anchor number 2. The Jews have 7 major feasts. They're the feasts of the Lord, okay? 7 major feasts. As you're looking at anchor number 2, on the timeline, Jesus fulfills the first 4 feasts. Those feasts were Passover, when Jesus was crucified. We've got unleavened bread is the next feast. That's when Jesus is in the earth and the earth couldn't hold him. And we have the feast. Then the next feast is the Feast of First Fruits. And the Feast of First Fruits, that's when Jesus is raised from the dead. He's the first fruit of all, of resurrection. And then about 49 days later, we've got what? We've got the Feast of Weeks, and that's the day of Pentecost, when Jesus has ascended, and he sent the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit comes down, and he fulfills now the Feast of Weeks or the Feast of Pentecost. Which just leaves 3 more feasts. Okay, so now, we're going to go way back on over now, back to anchor number 4. And these feasts are the Feast of Trumpets, the Feast of Yom Kippur, and the last feast is Tabernacles. Okay, so Jesus is going to fulfill these last 3 feasts just like he fulfilled the first 4. We know that at anchor number 4, that at the Feast of Trumpets, that Jesus is going to return. And then immediately go into the Feast of Yom Kippur, and then the Feast of Tabernacles, where Jesus dwells with us, and he will dwell on earth for 1,000 years. Okay, now, what I've told you is still not new news. All theologians believe on that. So then why are we doing this tape? Because now I need to take you to, there's a thing called, that we've called the rapture, or the catching away of the church, or the catching away of the bride of Christ. This is the one thing that no theologians can agree on.